I found myself explaining to my 7-year-old today how to make money, and why you want to pick up and make that a habit ASAP, as soon as possible. And I was like, yo, that's some good content, actually. If you can explain this to a 7-year-old, then even a 17-year-old, a 27, a 37, a 47, 57-year-old can understand. Because I was like, listen, one thing I know, son, is there's still some 57-year-olds that still don't know how to make money, and all they know how to do is use their time for money, and I don't want you to have to go through that for the rest of your life. So it led to, well, first of all, for context, he started off talking about something he wanted, and he asked his mom for the money for it, and his mom was like, I don't have the money. And then he's like, we all had this experience as a kid. He's like, but I seen the money on her dresser and I just didn't understand it, and maybe she didn't break it down. So I was like, let me break it down for you, son. Just because you see money don't mean you have that money to spend it on anything, right? Like, unless you have like an unlimited infinite budget. You have the universal God-like budget, which we all do. And of course, we love those spiritual perspectives. But really, when it come down to it, unless you know what's coming in, and you know that you're gonna go make that come in, you're gonna go put in that effort, that work, or whatever it is that you gotta put in to make it happen and come through. You wanna work with what you have. You wanna budget that efficiently. And so I kind of broke that down. I'm like, just because you seen mommy had that money don't mean she had that money to spend. You feel me? It's a difference. And I also broke down and ended up going into, and that led to me talking to my older son and saying, hey, I want you to do some studying on assets over liabilities. You heard? Okay. But here's the thing, what I told him, like, you want to have your money make money babies, and then with the money babies, you kind of use that as play money for all the things that, typically kids ask for stuff that, listen, it ain't a priority. You don't need that, right? But desires, wants, of course, it's okay to have those, and it's okay to serve those, right? But what I ended up breaking down was like, how? Because he's pretty intelligent. So even when I said that, he's like, yo, I like money. I'm like, that's cool. I'm not mad at you. He's like, y'all like saving money. I'm like, that's what's up. He a kid, so he be getting his little birthday monies. He got some money the other day from wherever he was at. Some uncle gave him money. He's like, I got $100 bill, daddy. Oh my gosh, I'm rich. He's like, I don't even want to spend it. I'm like, that's what's up. At least you ain't want to run and quickly go to the store and just bust it down, and you know what I mean? Anyway, money making money. He's like, what does that mean? It's almost like it went over his head. I don't know if it went over your head or if you like, well, are you gonna get to it? How does money make money? So let's talk about it real quick in a quick example that I gave, right? Okay, let's say you want a candy bar, right? You go into a store, there's a candy bar for however much a candy bar is in your area, $2 maybe. But if you get the box, it's, let's say, maybe $10, but it maybe comes with 20 candy bars, right? So I gave this example of, like, I remember the school hustler when I went to high school, and I remember her because she always came to school with a book bag full of candy, and I was a consumer, such a consumer instead of a creator and a money maker. I wasn't thinking that. I was, maybe just privileged enough to not have that much hustle, right? It developed over time, but I will say she always had a bag full of candy, and I know she walked away with profit. So the idea is you take your money, you buy something that's an income producing asset at that time. And this is an example for kids, of course, right? But you can kind of put this into play in a lot of different ways. But you buy in bulk and you sell, and then you make profit. So if you get a box of 20 candy bars, you sell them each for $2, right? And let's say, 20 times 2 is 40, but you now have profit, right? And you can take that profit and then you can go re-up, and then you take the re-up and you sell that, and then you have profit left over again, and then it just keep on. You can just continue to double up, triple up, and make money, make money. But there's so many different ways. Of course, grown-ups, real estate, you feel me? Instead of taking money and going to get your own, you go and get a, what do they call it, the two-plex, the three-plex, the four-plex. Do your research, right? And then make it work in that way where money's making money. But whatever you pour it into, you got ads. That's a huge thing these days. 2025, you get you a good product, you get you a good ad, and then you just can really rinse and repeat and just continue to pour the money in, and that money just gonna continue to make money forever. And when you get some profits, now those are your money babies. Now you can take that and spend that a little more. I just wanted to share that perspective, making money make money, looking for ways that I can take this money and I'll spend it on this, and then I'll get a return maybe forever, depending on what you invest in, right? But investing that money, I like communities, I like coaches, I like mentors. I made a post today. I said, mentors are greater than college. Literally, literally, right? Take you to a whole new level in life. Okay. Which is to me a great investment. I've made the investment numerous times and it pays off. And I think that's that on that. I just wanted to share that quick message and drop that off for you. Hopefully that sparks something. Hopefully you check that description down below. Join the community. And you already know where there's a will, there's a way. Hey, peace, family.